Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated, the Breer Report, talking about the Browns quarterback battle.
There's going to have to be some winnowing of this whole thing where they're going to have to at least get it down where there are a couple guys at the front of the line getting more reps. That is the best thing for the other 10 guys in the huddle. It's probably the best thing for the football team. And so this is a really critical couple of weeks for the Browns quarterbacks. And, you know, it's Joe Flacco versus Kenny Pickett. It's also Shedeur Sanders versus Dylan Gabriel. It's those two guys versus the two veterans. And it's not just those two guys versus the two veterans to see if one of those two guys, Gabriel or Sanders, can start. It's also seeing if either of those two guys are ready to be the backup, because the picture could look different if one of those guys, either Gabriel or Sanders, is ready to be the backup. That will give you the freedom to walk away from one of the veterans. So lots of moving parts there.
Let's welcome in Mary Kay Cabot, Browns beat reporter for Plain Dealer, Cleveland.com. Mary Kay, everybody's talking about this. Is there any kind of timeline just that you've been able to figure out that they might have some idea of who's taking snaps and who isn't, and how it all shakes out?
Well, I think by the time they come out of the mandatory mini camp next week, June 10th through the 12th, I think they have to have a pretty good idea of who their number one and number two are. I'm sure that they're not going to tell us what that is or what their plans are, because they'll probably want to go into training camp giving all of these four guys still a chance to win the starting job. But I think you have to have some kind of a plan. I don't think you can divide it up 25, 25, 25 and make it all equal across the board, because you have to get one of these guys ready to start the season, and camp goes really, really fast. I think that by the time they head in, I think they should have a pretty good idea of how they want it to go. And then it will be up to the guys in joint practices and maybe some of the preseason games to maybe try to flip that script and change that narrative. But I think the Browns, at least privately, need to know who their number one and number two are going into camp.